Very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for joining us for this week's media briefing. I don't have any particular announcement to make to begin with. I see hands already up. Okay. Yeah, we will take some questions. Please. I saw you before, Shailendra. First, go ahead.
सर आपने देखा होगा शैलेंद्र बांगू न्यूज़ 18 से आपने देखा होगा एक वीडियो पाकिस्तान के दरबार साहिब गुरुद्वारा जो करतारपुर में है वहाँ पर कुछ नाच गाने के वीडियो सामने आए हैं जिस पे आपत्ति जताई है सिख कम्युनिटी ने। इसको लेकर आप क्या कहेंगे? वहीं साथ ही साथ उनके एक सीईओ को भी एक करप्शन के चार्ज में हटाया गया है, तो करप्शन चार्जेस उस पूरे कॉम्प्लेक्स को लेके चल रहा था, इस पे आपका रिएक्शन?
नेक्स्ट टाइम प्लीज।
सर मेरा नाम संदीप है, न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से। मेरा सवाल है कि हांगकांग मीडिया में एक रिपोर्ट आई है जिसमें कि ये बताया गया है कि चीन जो है वो अक्साई चीन से एक नए हाईवे को तैयार करने की तैयारी कर रहा है और वो जो है एलएसी के बेहद करीब से गुजरेगा, इस तरह की रिपोर्ट में जो है लिखा गया है। किस तरीके से इस डेवलपमेंट को आप देख रहे हैं सर?
ओके, somebody, yeah, Siddhant, I'll come to you.
So connected question with Sandeep's question. China is also building their visuals, building new villages in Doklam. Any reaction on that?
Okay. Reza? Microphone, please.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reza from Hindustan Times. I just slightly related. I mean, we are hearing repeatedly from the Chinese side, from the foreign ministry spokesperson and other places, that there is a so-called momentum of recovery in relations, and that things have changed since the meeting in March. I mean, that's the sort of impression their statements seem to convey. I was wondering whether that squares with our assessment of how things stand.
This is Yeshi Seli from the New Indian Express. What are the prospects of a NATO presence in the Indo-Pacific? Earlier this month, Japan, Australia, New Zealand were participants of a NATO conference in Spain. Just like to know that.
Okay.
So, Times Now. We have seen your statement, the Indian government statement after the commanders level talks, but there is no reference to the situation on PP-15. Now, can you tell us exactly where things stand vis-a-vis that patrolling point, and also about the situation in Depsang and Demchok?
Any more hands? I thought one, but maybe I'll take another round. I think it's getting a long list already. Okay. Look, I think there are a few questions on China. First, शैलेंद्र जी, आपका प्रश्न था कोई पीएमयू में करतारपुर साहब लेके। देखिए, मैंने जैसे आ रहा था कुछ मैं देखा कोई रिपोर्ट्स हैं इसके बारे में। मेरा कोई इमीडिएट अभी कमेंट नहीं है, पर मैं सिर्फ ये दोहराना चाहूँगा कि हम लोग ने काफ़ी बार पहले भी कह रखा है पाकिस्तान को कि उधर माइनॉरिटीज़ को कैसे ट्रीट किया जाए, उनके रिलीजियस प्लेसेस को सेफगार्ड किया जाए। तो इसके बारे में अभी इमीडिएटली मेरे पास रिस्पॉन्स नहीं, क्योंकि आई थिंक हाल ही का कोई इंसिडेंट आया है अभी पब्लिक, तो आई विल गेट बैक टू यू इसमें। रिगार्डिंग चाइना, संदीप आप पूछ रहे थे कोई नई हाईवे के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, एससीएमपी रिपोर्ट है। मैं और सिद्धांत, यू रेज द इशू ऑफ दोकलाम। Look, I don't want to get into commenting on media reports. I don't even know accuracy, etc. But let me make a broader point, particularly in context of Doklam. Please be assured the government keeps a constant watch on all developments having a bearing on India's security and takes all necessary measures to safeguard the same. I'll make that as a general comment. आपको भी यही कहूँगा, जो भी इस तरह के कोई डेवलपमेंट हो, आश्वस्त रहें कि भारत सरकार अपनी देश की सुरक्षा के प्रभावित करने वाली कोई भी ऐसी डेवलपमेंट्स में निरंतर नज़र बनाए रखता है और सुरक्षा के लिए जो भी आवश्यक कदम है वो लेगा। इससे ज़्यादा आई डोंट वांट टू कमेंट ऑन दिस। Coming to the larger issue, I think Reza, you raised about the momentum of recovery. I think it's a very broader point. I'm not sure I'm the best qualified to comment on it in this kind of briefing. You saw that we had issued after the recent commander level talks a statement, actually a joint statement from both sides, wherein they did mention, if I have the text somewhere here, where they talked about the importance of moving ahead or trying to implement some of the agreements, understandings reached. In fact, it says frank and in-depth exchange of views, and he talked about resolution of the remaining issues at the earliest as per the guidance provided by the state leaders. And of course, our point, as you know, has been a larger issue, which says that if you can resolve the issues, particularly on disengagement, and that would help in de-escalation and in restoration of peace and tranquility along the LAC in the western sector. And that would be the right step towards enabling progress in the bilateral relations. I don't think I would be able to add much more to that in terms of assessment. I think that remains our view. This graded process of having de-escalation, disengagement, and then peace and tranquility on the border, which would help in progress in the bilateral relations. If the Chinese side have said that there is a momentum of recovery, which again, I don't know what you're quoting from, I haven't seen that term, good. That would always be, as we said, we would like to make progress, but we would like to see this path go ahead. I think there was also talk of maintaining dialogue and close contact, both through military and diplomatic channels, so that a mutually acceptable resolution of the issues can be found. I think that is our focus, and we will see how to take that forward. Yashi, I think your question is misplaced to us. If NATO is doing something in Indo-Pacific, you've got to ask NATO. We certainly are not members of it, nor can I comment on their... No, sorry, I think now that is a little more complicated. Members of the Quad, I think it's been repeatedly clarified what the Quad stands for, how the Quad approaches. There have been attempts to paint it as a Asian NATO or lots of things. And on this very forum, I think we've clarified how we look at Quad, how Quad members look at Quad, and I don't think NATO was ever come up in that conversation. So I don't want to get into that same debate again. So I would leave it at that. Shinjo, coming back to your specific area of, specific patrolling points, Depsang, Demchok, etc. These are part of the discussions. I wouldn't like to, I in fact probably would not be in a position to clarify more. We have issued a joint readout, a joint statement of this conversation, which clarifies how we want to, make progress the way ahead. And I explained it just now to Reza. That's how we would see it. I don't, want to comment on specific patrolling points or what were the discussions or what are the next steps, except to say that yes, I think we will look forward to more dialogue, both at the military and diplomatic levels, to see how we can resolve the issues as I have outlined. That's how we see it. Okay, I'll stop there. Next round of questions. Yeah, I had to see in your hand first. I'll come to you. Microphone here, please. आपके पीछे microphone है, please.
Sir, I'm Shailesh Kumar from National Defense. Sir, it's been almost 2 years, over 2 years, that Chinese PLA is undermining our security and challenging our sovereignty. And the 16th round of military talks is a stalemate. So, are we still hopeful with the next round of talks, or patience is running out, or there's a fatigue?
You really want to put words in my mouth, huh? Okay, I'll try to answer you. Okay, what are you?
Thank you, sir. Rajesh Mishra from Kantipur Media, Nepal. Sir, how is India seeing the change situation in Sri Lanka? Does India expect condition to improve there under the new president? Will India continue its cooperation in this situation now? Thank you.
Okay, who are the people? Yeah, okay. I saw, no, sir, I think the lady, right, I can't even see you from here. Okay. Yeah, now I see you. Yeah.
This is Devi Rupa from The Wire. This is what basically you must have been aware that in Mauritius there's a major political controversy which has broken out after the resignation of the CEO of the Mauritius Telecom, who's claimed that he was forced by the Prime Minister to give access to a foreign team to the landing station of the submarine cable there. The Prime Minister said that it was basically said that for the first time that it was an Indian team and they had gone for a survey mission. So I just want to know if you can throw some light on what was the nature of the request from the Mauritian government and what was the Indian team doing there exactly?
Yeah, please.
So this is Manas from PTI, Press Trust of India. Just a related question to the previous question on Sri Lanka. So as Sri Lanka just looks at restoring political stability as a key partner of Sri Lanka, is India actually looking at a specific economic package at this point of time? In continuation of the previous assistance, of course.
Okay. Somebody just said no, okay. Let me take that round. Look, let me start with some of the Sri Lanka one, perhaps. No, I think I saw a couple of questions. There was one from Rajesh, you asked, as well as Manesh. Look, on Sri Lanka, I think we have been addressing this issue quite at length. We have also, you would have seen our statements that our High Commission has put out, a couple of statements we had put out. Primarily, let me emphasize, we have, I think, been at the forefront of extending assistance to Sri Lanka, economic assistance, as per what they required. I think we are one of the countries that has the maximum amount of assistance we've been able to reach at the time of need. I think in that context, we will continue to stand by the people of Sri Lanka in whatever manner we can. You asked specifically about about the election of the new president. I think High Commission put out a statement there talking about that this was a process of the Parliament that did it. I don't think I have anything much to add except to emphasize that what you said earlier also, the people of Sri Lanka, we would stand with them in their quest for stability, economic recovery through democratic means and values, establish democratic institutions and the constitutional framework. And I think the fact that this transition happened through the constitutional framework is a clear positive indicator in that way. Specific economic package, again, in the same way. Look, I think they have a lot of, now that they have a new president and they'll probably take more steps ahead to set up a government. And they also have these discussions with the IMF. Let's see what is required, what happens. I don't have an immediate answer because I think we have extended assistance in various ways. And some of it is actually not even fully utilized. Some of it has been utilized. So we will look at all that. As I said, we'll continue to stand with the people of Sri Lanka in whatever way we can. I think that would sum up how we look at it. And our emphasis on democratic, constitutional framework, democratic institution, and as well as the democratic means and values. I think that's what I would emphasize on Sri Lanka. There was a query, I think, Devarupa, you mentioned something about the Mauritius one. Look, I don't know if I have the full details of that, but my understanding is that the Prime Minister of Mauritius has already made a statement, and I think you referred to it in your own comment. I really don't have anything further to add to that. I think that's good enough from our perspective. Sailesh, you had raised back to China. You made a lot of, as I call it, declarative statements. Those are your statements. Let be clarified. I don't know whether they are undermining sovereignty. I don't think India's sovereignty should be should be undermined. It's not an issue of patience wearing thin. None of those, I think, would be characterizations that I may agree with. I would like to say and reiterate what I've been saying earlier, that we are engaged with the Chinese side. We're having this diplomatic as well as military discussions to resolve the issues from our perspective, which is disengagement, de-escalation, having some degree of stability and normalcy on the border areas, and then that would help in improving the overall relations. I think that's the path we will remain focused on. Okay, if there are no further questions, we have. Okay, sorry. Please go ahead.
Sir, I'm Abhishek Jha from CNN News 18. I have two questions.
That violates our norms, but anyway, let me hear you.
Sir, towards the weekend, there is a conference going on to happen in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent, regarding Afghanistan issue. So, will India be attending the event, and in what capacity Indian representation will be there? Also, there is a scheduled SCO foreign ministers meeting next week. Can we have some greetings or
greetings?
Between the two foreign ministers of India and Pakistan, is there any meeting scheduled between the two foreign ministers? Because there has been media reports earlier that there is a preparedness.
Okay, fair enough. I got your question. The first one you mentioned is this weekend, right? Yeah. Okay. Huh? 21st is today. Okay, fair enough. Who had the other person raise the hand? You back again? Okay. Before that, anybody else on a question? Yeah.
Sir, I'm Akhilesh Sohn from Sansar TV. Recently, former Prime Minister of Nepal, Mr. Prachanda, was here in Delhi. So, did he meet a foreign minister and?
Yes.
What was the?
Please follow our Twitter, Facebook, website. This is the opportunity.
Is there any takeaway from that?
Okay. Nobody else? Then okay, last one. No. Shailendra asked you. You don't have a question, I'm sure. Tell me.
Sir, Shailendra News 18. अरविंद केजरीवाल सिंगापुर जा पाएंगे या नहीं?
Okay. That's it. You had something interesting and something different? Okay, please. Very interesting. I love your confidence.
So we saw a statement by the Russian embassy over a Russian vessel being detained. There was this announcement the vessel has been allowed to go.
Yeah.
So what was the controversy all about, and the statement we saw by the Russian side asking for explanation? If you can just comment on that.
Let me start with your question, actually. That's the easiest. Look, I'm not going to comment on the Russian statement. I think that's not fair comment. This was a commercial dispute, and the commercial dispute got resolved. I think the payment outstanding issue between a foreign party as well as the ship. And after the payment, this was because the party that had not got the payment had raised an issue with the Admiralty Court. The Admiralty Court had intervened as per the norms in such cases. Subsequently understand that the payment or the two sides entered an agreement, and the ship was allowed to leave. I think that's what, and the issue has been resolved. So I don't have much else to say. I don't think there's any real controversy on it. Shailendra, your question, one second, before I come to that, Akhilesh, you asked, this was regarding the visit, recent visit, of course, of Prachand, which he had come. I don't know I'm not in a position to go into conversations that he had. You saw what External Affairs Minister put out something. This was a party-to-party visit. It was he'd come to the BJP and from his party. So I really don't have much about his engagements, but he did meet EM. EM was also present when he was at the BJP. I think we discussed issues, bilateral issues, but again, I don't want to comment further unless you had something specific you want to respond on. Abhishek, on the issues that you mentioned, two issues. Look, by now I can happily say we will not announce visits until it's appropriate time. If there's something there at the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting, I will let you know. I will show you, we'll share information with you. At this point, I don't have information, far less on the engagement that may happen during a visit that we haven't yet announced. As regards the other one in Tashkent, yes, I'm aware of that, but again, I don't have an announcement yet. If we do, I'll let you know. This is the one about Afghanistan, right? Yeah. So sorry. शैलेंद्र, योर क्वेश्चन आपका मुश्किल है, मैं कैसे कह सकता हूँ वो जा पाएंगे या नहीं. मैं आपको सिर्फ इतना बता सकता हूँ कि अभी तक हमारे पास कोई ऐसी पॉलिटिकल क्लियरेंस की रिक्वेस्ट आई नहीं थी, पर आज एक एंट्री आई है. एंड लेट मी जस्ट, अभी जब मैं आ रहा था मुझे बताया गया कि हमारे यहाँ एक जिसे कहते हैं एंट्री उस टाइप का वो आया है, एग्जैक्ट वर्ड उसका था या कि एक एंट्री बनाया. हमारे पास एक ऑनलाइन पोर्टल होता है पॉलिटिकल क्लियरेंस के लिए, उसमें एक एंट्री आज आई है इस विज़िट के बारे में, पर इसके बारे में और डिटेल्स मेरे पास अभी नहीं है क्योंकि अभी आज ही हुआ है ये. बट मैं कह सकता हूँ उनका जाना फिर उनके हाथ में, वो तो मैं कुछ कह नहीं पाऊँगा. ओके, आई थिंक विल या प्लीज गो अहेड. माइक्रोफोन.
So the Delhi Chief Minister is claiming that he made the request for political clearance in the first week of June.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying that the Ministry of External Affairs did not receive any request?
I'm very scared when you ask the question. Let me repeat exactly what I am saying in English this time. Look, as I came in, I was just informed that an entry has been made in the ministry's online portal. There's a system, as you know, to request political clearance. With respect to this visit, that entry was made today afternoon or today morning or whatever. And I don't have any further details on what that entry is. So clearly, let me reiterate, the entry was made today in our online portal for political clearance.
So what are the chances of
that is beyond the scope of my briefing. Okay. Huh? No, as I said, I've just seen an entry. Let me have I can't comment on it. Okay, thank you very much for attending today's briefing.